tro mig. Kvällen till ära så kommer vi att guidas av några gäster från utlandet minsann. Och det är ett stort nöje att börja presentera Jörg Schiller. Stora applåd. Jörg är produktansvarig för Superduken. Han har varit med från dag ett. Han vet allting om motorcykeln. Han har lidit ur nästan varenda hästkraft i den här gången. Nästan, sa jag. Nästa kille har tagit ytterligare lite. Very big applause and a warm welcome for Mr. Jeremy McWilliams. Over to you guys.
Can you hear me? Yes. Gör samma på bokstav. Subject? No. Everything. Okay, everybody, welcome again. We came here after, I would say, to celebrate a little 4 years of development, and the outcome of 4 years of development is actually the new Superduke. Before that, let's talk a little about KTM. We are doing good, as you can see, which is pretty nice nowadays because the overall motorcycle is going down. Actually, we are coming up, which is pretty nice. We have the best sales ever. We pretty much recovered from the crisis, so KTM is doing pretty well. Another celebration, 244 world titles. This is a little funny. Some 3 weeks ago, we finished the press presentation, the press launch at Marbella. Some 100 journalists, some are here, who rode the bike already. We saw it, and back then it was 235 World Championship titles. So actually we do pretty good. We're a little proud on that. And just put the Model 3, which is a street title to this. And this is part of the story. So KTM is getting a street brand. We fought against Honda. Honda's pretty upset, which is fine. We love it. They are fighting us. They're fighting us in the internet, in interviews. They're upset with us, which is good. We think, okay. little Austrian company, Honda fighting us, 16 million bikes to sell. Nice. We are here. So, success story? Yes, we can already call it a success story because we had a presentation which was, in different terms, very, very successful. We had 100 journalists, we had more than 100 different people riding the bike in the worst conditions you can ever imagine. No, actually in very good conditions, but in a big variety of conditions. So we had open roads, bad roads, very, very, very bad roads too. Slippery, yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Very slippery roads. And to our own surprise, I must admit, not a single crash. Not a single crash. We bet it before. We said, that will be a tough launch. It's a very fast bike, it's a powerful bike. Put it out right away. It's a powerful bike, so we betted something between 7 and 15 crashes. Not a single one, which makes us proud. And actually, we can say this, the bike somehow is hard to crash, which is good. How did it start? Let's say the Superduke is actually now the peak of the KTM reinvention of KTM Street. It all started, yeah, you remember the Duke maybe in '94. That was the first street-oriented KTM bike, but the first real street bike was the Superduke, which was introduced in 2005. The idea about the Superduke started in 2001 already, where some people, some guys at the company, they're pretty inventive, took an adventure, said, how can we turn this into a street bike? Some interesting development. Some of the guys, I wasn't with the factory then, but some of the guys told us, we started with footpegs here, some with the handlebar here, very short, so it's a strange, crazy bike, very, very, very hard suspension, so this was totally extreme. And the outcome of this, all sketches, the face, was a big impact in all motorcycling in 2005 when KTM suddenly presented the back then most aggressive, most extreme naked bike of everything. Something new. There was nothing comparable to think. But it was, of course, very extreme, so we had to work on the refinement a little, which 2 years later got us to this, a little bit of a tank, it's an EFI system already, so it was back in 2005, it was the first KTM with an EFI, which is kind of a statement that it was really serious to put a lot of investment into the development of a street bike. We made the first R version back in 2008, bigger engine, not bigger engine, with bigger throttle bodies, titanium bolts, so already a very nice bike. And then we said, okay, and the board said, due to the prices actually, which is maybe interesting, we have to do something to get a real street brand. So we started development of the 125 Duke, for example, which had big impact, which gave us a lot of young customers. I think we sold some 15,000 already, so a lot of young customers on KTM now. We have the 690 Duke, is much revised, and we saw some effect. Where do we have to pull the wheels and to pull the triggers to make it more friendly, to make it more user-friendly. Still very fast, but more user-friendly. And actually, this really played out good. We sold a lot. Then you maybe know the adventures, the RC8 in between. So I think we're on a good state, and I think now we're here for the all-new Superduke. How did it start? How did we come to make something strange like a 1300 naked bike? Of course, it started with a beer. A lot of things started with beer. And this is true. Let's imagine we had a beer or two, or maybe some more. Just a little group of people. KTM is a big company, but it's still a small company, so things are possible like a little poetry. Of course, there's processes, but some guys sat together, had some beers, and said, hey, we have a nice RC8 engine, we have a Superduke, what can we do? And the outcome of the evening was, it's not big enough. We need a statement. We need to do something different. End of it. Everybody split away. Nothing happens. Some 3 months later, I got a call. Hello, Jörg. Hey, the guys. We built something. We want to write something. I said, no, why not? What is it? Ah, we don't tell. Suspicious. I said, no, we don't tell. Didn't get the idea. Coming there, and you guys standing there, grinning like this. Oh, there you go. It was an old Superduke with an RC8 engine. So, that's a nice idea. I said, yeah. It's a nice idea, but have a look. That's it. No, have a try. What is it? Oh, we don't know. Good. The man is very, very suspicious. They look at the bike, sit on it. In the factory, when you exit the R&D building, there's a T-crossing. And in front of the T-crossing, there's an KTM shop. Some fixed-wheel systems. So, look to the left, look to the right, look in the mirror, and you guys still sitting there grinning. Starting. Pulling wheel immediately out of 2000, almost crashing into the shop like, what is this? So there we were. The thing was, they built the engine. It's just a 1300. You can say it's just a 1300, it's just 110 cc more, or 116. But Jesus Christ, the bike was powerful. It was very, very, very powerful. It was almost too powerful. You could really in fourth gear, rolling at 160. Of course, this is illegal, you know. But rolling around, not pulling, not nothing, just whoa, coming on. Funny, when you get used to it, unsellable, unrideable, much, much, much too much. So we thought, what do we have here? A nice engine, a nice base. Said, what do we do with this? Because it was pirate free. Nobody knew about that. So we said, take the board members, let them ride it. So we invited the board members. I don't know if you know them, but we got Gerald Giska, the main designer, and Hugo Trunkenbos, who's the sales guy, the big sales. We got a good test ride. What do you have here? Say things and stories. Ride it. Both not bad riders. They came back like this. Jesus, what did you build? We said, well, blame the engine guys. It's there. It's a 1300. And it took 5 seconds for them to look at them and said, we need this. So then we had a project. Because we thought we knew this you can never sell. Maybe it would be a sensation. You would sell 50 and 25 would crash in the first week. No way. But we decided, okay, let's take the base, let's somehow domesticate it, and let's see what we can do. And then the work started. Actually, this is a sketch from 2010, so pretty early. We thought this might be the base, it would look like this. But to make it work, that was a lot of work. There's the heart. Okay, it's a 1300 engine, it has 144 Newton meter peak torque. I think the torque is even more interesting. Okay, it has 180 horsepower, which is a lot, yes. It could have been much more. We actually detuned the engine, all to make it rideable. Jeremy was deeply involved in making it rideable. It's one of the secrets, is the ride-by-wire system. No, that's first. And then we look at the curve below is the torque of the 990 Superduke. Whoever rode the 990 Superduke, it is about 100 Newton meter. It's not an untorquey bike, it's a big region. The new Superduke, at 2,500 has the peak torque of the 990 Superduke. This thing really pulls. It really pulls. But as I said before, we had to domesticate it. This is the opening curves of the ride-by-wire system. Ride-by-wire, what is that? Most of you might know this is an electronic throttle. So you don't actuate the butterfly with a cable. You actuate via a computer, via a sensor. This is multifunctional safe, so it's very safe, it's even safer than a cable pull. And it gives you the opportunity to control a beast like this. So what we have here is 3 different modes. And it's an opening curve in 3 different modes. It's rain, it's street, and the less progressive one is sports mode. So you can make the bike feel differently. Big differences. Big German.
Yeah, I was involved in the project from the very beginning when we tried on the P1, which is the very first pre-production bike. There was only 2 of them in existence at the time, and Jorg invited me to come to Tenerife. Went to Tenerife. It's a little sort of secret facility that they have that they can ride it without the world's press watching. And I got to ride the very first bike, and exactly as Jorg was saying, there's a bit of a wow factor. There's a few things I didn't like on the bike, and I communicated those to the people that mattered in KTM, and all of a sudden I was landed with the job of helping them to develop the production bike. And Through the process, we spent a lot of time on what we're talking about at the moment, which is the connection from the throttle to the rear wheel. Because when you're trying to make 145 newton meters of torque and 180 horsepower work on the road, it's quite complicated and needs a little bit of refinement and tuning. And we work with a company called Bosch, and the Bosch guys are probably one of the cleverest I've ever worked with, and I've worked with many guys in MotoGP and throughout my career, my racing career. But the guys in Bosch really understood what KTM wanted from this bike, and through the ride-by-wire systems and the MSC, the motorcycle stability control, MTC control, they made this bike what it is today. Now what we're talking about here is the connection from the throttle. We did try this one time just as an experiment to see whether or not we could ride the bike with the one-to-one system, which would be what your traditional your cable system would be on most bikes. And it's actually impossible to do, so it's very important that they use the ride-by-wire system, because one-to-one system is unrideable with this sort of horsepower.
Yeah, it is. So, actually, the ride-by-wire throttle body is one of the keys that Jeremy mentioned Bosch, that we use for the traction control. It has a traction control, it needs a traction control. Actually, let's say, needs a traction control is maybe too much. If you would switch everything off that the bike has in the sister systems, like the traction control, the ABS, you can switch everything off. It would still be a nice bike, because of course we wanted a nice mechanical base to work on, and then put the assistance system off. It's a better way to do it. So every electronic assistant we have, like the traction control or the ABS, has even refines it, and it's more for safety and even for the boundary. It's not very intrusive systems. But the bike itself is pretty healthy. So you can ride it without everything. It's a big sensation. Of course, there is no assistance then when the wheel starts to slide. You should keep that in mind. Or wheelie. There's a wheelie intrusion. But it was pretty fine, pretty clever. And this is thanks to Bosch. What we got from the press, the reaction from the press, was a pretty tight one. Actually, they were shocked. Some people were shocked after 2 days of riding, and most of them were connected, and some said, really like this, thinking, this is maybe the best bike we've ever ridden. And we think we are there. We think we're there. There's a lot of faces in the bike.
I think the expectation from the press first was because it was lauded as this beast with huge horsepower and torque figures, is that the press expected something else. The press expected a bike that was going to be very difficult to ride. But actually what we were told when we started the development from KTM, that it had to be rideable in every sense, whether it was with traction control on or with traction control off, with ABS on or with the ABS off. So at the beginning, the development was done with none of the electronic control. The electronic control only came very late in the project. So before the electronic control came along, we already had a bike that was really very easy to ride in any condition.
So, talking about mechanics, of course it's steel, people are afraid, like always with KTM. What most people don't know is, everybody says it's stiff. It's not just stiff. We work on what we call the stiffness balance. So this is not just stiff in every direction, but it's, for example, very stiff for braking, and very stiff for steering. So the whole steering head is stiff to make precise, but it's soft in some ways too, and it deals together with the swing arm. So this is a really out-tested, out-limited system. So you need the softness to make the bike forgiving. The bike is really forgiving. Make it easy to ride and make it easy to control. Actually, you feel, like I told, not a single crash of 200 people really trying to do everything. From the most experienced to the less experienced, with Indian people coming from India, we said, okay, today it happens. Because the bike is really easy to control. And sensational. Single-sided swing arm. It's a nice thing. Let's just rush through the parts. Gives us an opportunity to make the bike slim. Actually, that's the main technical reason. It's the package reason. Of course, it looks nice. Of course, it's easy to deal with the change engine. But the best is the bike is very slim. which gives us a big amount of lean angle, of possible lean angle with the one bike. Tires are special. The Dunlop decided to work with us, like Bosch. We are kind of family. They decided to work with us and finish their Sportsmart 2 because they said this is the perfect base to finish that. And what we found in testing, we of course we tested a lot of tires, that these tires are very, very good in the wet, very, very good in the dry, almost race grip. Some of you might be familiar with riding on a racetrack. It's almost race grip, so it's outstanding grip for tires, and the longevity is outstanding.
This tire beat every other tire, hands down, and the question keeps coming up, can we put another tire on the bike? And actually there's no need to put another tire on the bike. We've tried every single tire. We didn't just try it once, I think we tried it 3 times. We did this back-to-back test about 3 times with every single other tire manufacturer, and this is the tire that won hands down in terms of durability, grip on normal road surfaces and grip on track surfaces. Plus the whole of the electronic development was developed around this tire, so the profile of this tire is what's required for the optimum traction control and ABS settings.
Yeah, of course there will be more tires available, but maybe it's like this. It's good in that condition. Okay, there we go. It's very modern, by the way. It's the only tire that has a jointless tread. That's your control when you sit on the bike. I mean, multifunctional cockpit and modes. You have modes. You have all the electronic assistance systems that are on the bike is controlled by the switch. You can choose the engine behavior, like we showed you with the progressive curve, the power. So you can decide, I want it 40, I want it very, very spontaneous. And traction control will adapt together with that. So in race mode, it's actually easy. By the way, in race mode, the fuel consumption is a little lower. It is actually low. Fuel consumption is already low, much lower than the 990.
It's 100 horsepower. In race mode, it's 100 horsepower.
Yeah, it's reduced to 100 horsepower, which is not little. 100 horsepower is low if you want to use it. Street rain, obviously different behavior. Street is really done, the traction control for street. That is really done for street. So
yeah, we did this with Bosch on the street. We actually took the technicians onto the street to do this because we were working in a closed facility in Spain, and we couldn't really find the optimum setting with for street traction control on a racetrack because of the changing conditions. The tire overheats, the pressure of the tire goes up because you're going round and round the racetrack. We did it on the street, and in the end I think we came up with something that works very well that the rider cannot feel. So when he rides the bike in street mode with traction control on, there is no interruption from the traction control. There's no annoying glitches that the rider feels through the bike when the traction control cuts in and out, because I can't feel it. I think all the journalists that we took to the press launch in Spain, same thing, they all rode it in street mode and sport mode, and nobody could feel the interruption from traction control. So it's something that we're pretty proud of in both street and sport. Obviously sport, as Jörg says, is much sportier, best used for the track probably, and where it involves the rider much closer, and although you can virtually slide the bike a little bit, you still become part of the riding experience, and you cannot just totally rely on the traction control. Although it's there for your safekeeping, I think when you ride it in sport mode, you'll feel that you can't just completely rely on it and open the throttle 100% with this sort of torque.
It will slide. It will leave target. Really nice.
That's what I should have said. It will leave big black marks on the exit of the turn, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the really fast runners they said, well, let's state of the art. Because again, when we do LAS together with Bosch, when we do traction control together with Bosch, we try to make it the less intrusive as possible. So you feel the normal ride. When the tire starts to slide, maybe you know the strange feeling of traction is thrown away. The experience you will have is to feel, okay, it's sliding. It is sliding, and then you control it with your body. That it is. You don't feel a cut like in many other systems that cut the ignition or cut the fuel. It's just done by the butterflies. It's connected to the wiper wire. So the wiper wire decides, at the moment I should give him this and this torque in the engine, because if I give him more, he will crash. And actually, it works. It works. But this is something you should experience actually.
You have to trust us.
Trust us, you trust us, look at us. Hey, by the way, for the ABS system. ABS system is pretty clever. The whole Bosch system is pretty clever. Why is that? Because it's lead angle dependent. Ah, sorry, not the ABS, the traction control is lead angle dependent. ABS later. Once the back, once the front, still traction control. Traction control is lead angle dependent, which means the behavior of the traction control is different at certain lead angle, and it's different when you. Sorry, what is that?
No, correct.
Yeah,
You're correct.
And it's more a wheelie mitigation when you're going straight. However, it's nice if you want to do record on ice, like Magnus. And it's just dealing with the grip of your tire when you go on a big lead angle. So it's a lead angle dependency. The bike knows its state, it knows the state of the wheels, and it knows its position. I worked in racing with data acquisition. Some years ago, you needed a lot to get a lead angle indication to work with it. Now you have this. I mean, it's huge, obviously, on the street. In reality,